You have $100, not $100,000, not a windfall, not a bonus or an inheritance or a lucky break. $100. The amount that disappears from most people's accounts between the 1st and the 15th without leaving a traceable explanation. The amount that goes to a dinner you don't remember, a subscription you forgot, existed a series of small transactions that individually meant nothing and collectively meant $100. I want to talk about what happens when that $100 goes somewhere intentional instead. Not because $100 a month builds dramatic wealth quickly, it doesn't. The math is slower than the internet will tell you, and the early years are genuinely unimpressive in a way that causes most people to stop. But because the first intentional $100 invested consistently does something to the rest of your financial life that has almost nothing to do with the $100, it changes the category you're operating in. It changes the questions you ask. It changes what you notice, what you prioritize, and what becomes possible in ways that a one-time $1,000 investment made once and forgotten does not. The $100 is not the point. What the $100 starts is the point. My name is William, and today we're going through exactly what changes month by month, year by year, when $100 leaves your account on the first of every month and goes somewhere that compounds. Month 1, the mechanics and the feeling. You open a Fidelity or Vanguard or Schwab account on a Tuesday evening. It takes about 20 minutes. You link your checking account. You set up an automatic transfer of $100 on the first of every month. You select a total market index fund, VTIFCOXSWTSX, any of them, and you confirm the purchase. Then you close the app. That's it. That's the whole action. 20 minutes, one decision, one automation, and the next morning you wake up and your life looks identical to how it looked the morning before. The coffee tastes the same. The commute takes the same amount of time. The account has $100 in it, and the market moved slightly in one direction or another, and nothing feels different. This is the part that causes most people to underestimate what just happened. Because what just happened was not a financial transaction. It was a category transfer. Before last night, you were someone who intended to invest someday. After last night, you are someone who invests. Those are not the same person. They make different decisions. They notice different things. They arrive at different places 20 years from now. Not because of the $100, but because of the identity shift the $100 initiated. The behavioral research on this is consistent. The single most reliable predictor of continued investment behavior is having started. Not the amount, not the return, not the market conditions at the time of the first purchase. Whether the account exists and has money in it, you just crossed that threshold. Everything that follows is easier than what you just did. Month 6, the first test, the market drops 8% in 3 weeks. Your $600 in contributions is now showing a balance of approximately $563. You have lost $37 on paper, and your nervous system, which evolved in an environment where loss meant physical danger, registers this with a disproportionate response relative to the actual magnitude of the event. This is the first test not of your financial sophistication, of your ability to do nothing when doing nothing feels wrong. The people who pass this test, who look at the $563 balance, remind themselves that they don't need this money for 30 years and close the app without changing anything, are the people who build real wealth. Not because they're smarter, because they've correctly identified that their job at this stage is not to optimize, it's to not interfere. The people who fail this test sell the position, move to cash, and wait for the right moment to get back in. The right moment never arrives with a signal. The market recovers while they're waiting. They buy back in higher than they sold. The cycle repeats every downturn for 20 years, and the cumulative cost in returns missed, in behavioral friction, in the compounding that didn't happen, is not a small number. JP Morgan found that missing just the 10 best trading days between 2003 and 2023 cut returns in half. Most of those 10 days happened in the 2 weeks following the worst days. The The people sitting in cash waiting for stability missed the recovery that began, while the news still looked terrible. Your $600 became $563. You closed the app. You did nothing. That was the right answer. Year one, $1,200 invested. The number that feels unimpressive and isn't. 12 months of $100, the automatic transfers, $1,200 contributed at a 7% annual average return. Your balance is approximately $1,247. You made $47 beyond your contributions. $47, the cost of a dinner, out the return on a year of disciplined monthly investing. From the outside, this looks like an argument against starting small. From the inside, it is evidence of something that the early years never show clearly, but that the later years prove completely. You are not building a balance. You are building a rate. The $47 this year becomes $94 next year on the same contributions because the base is larger. The year after that, it becomes $145. The compounding is not dramatic yet. It won't be dramatic for several years, but it is present and it is accelerating. And every month you continue is a month that acceleration has more base to work from. There is also something happening that doesn't show in the account balance at all. You've started noticing things you didn't notice before. The expense ratio on the fund in your 401k, that's 1.2%, when a comparable option charges 0.03%. The credit card interest rate that's effectively canceling the return on your investment every month that carries a balance. The subscription that costs $180 annually for something you use twice a year. The $100 investment created a financial awareness that is expanding outward into every other category of your financial life. Not because you became more disciplined, but because you became someone who tracks returns. And someone who tracks returns starts seeing costs differently. Year 5, $6,000 invested. The compounding becomes visible. 60 months of $100 contributions, $6,000 total invested. Balance at 7% average annual return, approximately $7,200. You've made $1,200 beyond your contributions. The return is now 20% of your total balance. No longer negligible, no longer something that rounds to the cost of a dinner. More importantly, your monthly return is approximately $42. Your money is generating $42 a month just by existing half your monthly contribution produced without any effort on your part. The ratio will keep shifting. In 5 more years, the monthly return will exceed the monthly contribution. Your money will be contributing more than you are. But here's the thing about year 5 that nobody warns you about. Year 5 is when lifestyle inflation becomes the most dangerous it will ever be. Your income is higher than it was at year 1. The $100 automatic transfer that felt significant when you set it up feels routine now, almost too small to be meaningful. And the voice that says you deserve more, that you've been disciplined long enough, that 1 year of pausing the transfer won't matter, is loudest precisely at the moment when continuity matters most. The person who pauses the transfer at year 5 and resumes at year 8 has not lost 3 years of $100 contributions. They've lost the compounding on those contributions for the remaining 20 years of the investment horizon. At 7% annual returns, $3,600 in missed contributions at year 5 is not $3,600 by year 30. It's approximately $19,000. The pause that felt minor was a $19,000 decision made carelessly. Don't pause it. Increase it if the income allows, but don't pause it. Year 10, $12,000 invested. The machine is running. A decade of $100 a month, $12,000 contributed. Balance at 7% average annual return, approximately $17,400. You've made $5,400 beyond your contributions. The market did 45% of the work this year. You did 55%. Next year, the market will do slightly more than you. The year after that, slightly more again. The crossover. The point where your annual return exceeds your annual contribution happens around year 12 to 13 at these contribution levels. After that, you could stop contributing entirely, and the account would still grow every year by more than you were putting in. You almost certainly won't stop, because by year 10, the behavior is not a discipline anymore. It's a default. The $100 leaves on the first of the month, the way the rent leaves automatically without decision, without consideration of whether this is the month to do it. The identity shift that happened in month 1 is now so complete that stopping would feel like the anomaly. And something else has happened by year 10 that is harder to quantify than the balance. You have 10 years of evidence that you can do something consistently, that you can make a decision and honor it across market corrections. Life changes, income disruptions, and every other force that typically erodes financial commitments. That evidence is worth more than the account balance in terms of what it predicts for the next 20 years. Year 20, $24,000 invested, the number that reframes everything. 2 decades of $100 a month, $24,000 contributed. Balance at 7% average annual return, approximately $52,000. The market generated $28,000 more than your total contributions across 20 years. Your money has made more money than you put in. The thing you started with $100 on a Tuesday evening 20 years ago is now a self-sustaining system that grows every year by more than you contribute annually. The math has fully turned. You are no longer the engine, you are the steward. And the person checking the banking app at 2:54 in the morning, the one who couldn't imagine that $100 a month could become anything, that person is genuinely unrecognizable from where you're standing. Year 30, $36,000 invested, the number nobody believes until they see it. 30 years, $36,000 contributed. $100 every month without interruption. Balance at 7% average annual return, approximately $121,000. The market generated $85,000. You generated $36,000. For every dollar you put in the market, put in $2.36. Your total return is 236% on your contributions. From $100 a month from one decision made on a Tuesday evening that took 20 minutes and felt almost too small to matter. Now extend it. $200 a month for 30 years at 7%, approximately $243,000. $300 a month, approximately $365,000. $500 a month, approximately $68,000. The variable that matters most in all of these numbers is not the amount. It is the 30 years. The compounding needs time the way a fire needs oxygen. It doesn't work without it, and more of it produces results that scale faster than the input suggests they should. The person who starts at 25 with $100 arrives at 55 with a fundamentally different financial position than the person who starts at 35 with $300. Even though the second person contributed more money, the decade costs more than the contribution. What actually changes? The real answer, the account balance changes. That's the obvious one. But what changes first? What changes in month 1 before the balance is meaningful is the relationship with money. The $100 investment creates a financial identity that expands. You start asking about expense ratios because you have an account with expense ratios. You start understanding compound interest because you have an account that demonstrates it. You start noticing the credit card balance differently because you can now calculate what that balance is costing you relative to what the investment is producing. The $100 is a financial education that pays you to attend it. Every month the account exists, you learn something about how money actually works, that no amount of content consumption produces as reliably as having real money in a real account doing real things. The other thing that changes is harder to name. It's the 254 banking app check, not immediately. The early years don't provide enough balance to quiet that anxiety. But somewhere around year 5, the check shifts in character. It's no longer panic-driven. It's curiosity. The same hand reaching for the phone, the same screen glowing in the dark, but checking something that's growing rather than confirming something that's standing still. That shift from checking out of fear to checking out of interest is what $100 a month actually buys. Not in month one in year five. And it costs exactly $100 a month to get there. The $100 you invest this month will not change your life this month. It will change the person making the decision next month and the month after that. And that person 30 years from now will have built something that the person on the couch tonight cannot quite picture yet. Subscribe for a new video every week and drop in the comments what's stopping you from setting up the automatic transfer today. I read everyone.